It's Friday night. Here we are.
In the former world headquarters of the carnivore way of life in southeastern Wisconsin, but now post-carnivore, low carb, I think is where you would fall right now.
Yeah.
And I'm lowering carbs, so heading back toward that, but never going back to carnivore most likely, or at least not for a prolonged stay. And we are ready and loaded for bear.
We are. You were working on this.
We have topics. I even have information, and there are
trying to look
slides.
something up. Yes.
So,
And who are you?
I'm Eric. I am a novelist, ostensibly. I was carnivore for 3 years, and then this past around Christmas time, I started adding back carbs. I went through a very high carb phase, and now I am backing off of that because I didn't like it. But I don't think I'm going full keto. And who are you?
I am JJ. I'm a life coach. I was on the carnivore diet from October 2022 until December 2025, and am slowly backing my way back into pretty close to carnivore. Yeah, definitely. So,
And there's been big news. If you follow this stuff, if you're familiar with Dave Feldman and Nick Norwitz, they had this Keto CTA study
yes.
that's been following the so-called lean mass hyper-responders
Yes.
who have this phenotype of they go low carb, their LDL goes up, their trigs come down, their HDL goes up, and they tend to be lean body mass. And so they have this particular set of labs that's defined as a lean mass hyper-responder. And they raised all this money to do this CTA study. And a CTA is a CT angiogram, which images the coronary arteries. And what they wanted to see is from a baseline scan and following up a year later, what was the progression or regression or stayed the same of whatever coronary artery plaques they may have had.
Because these lean mass hyperresponders had extremely high LDL.
And if you believe in the lipid hypothesis of heart disease, you would expect a dose response that you would see greater progression with higher LDL and ApoB levels.
But these people were sort of outliers in that sort of hypothesis, because that hypothesis is based on just the standard American public. Right?
Exactly.
And these people did not have metabolic dysregulation. They were metabolically healthy, except for their LDL was extremely elevated. So they didn't quite follow what the lipid hypothesis would even say necessarily.
So they did the imaging because they're like, well, that's the way to tell. And the initial results came out and there was a lot of hullabaloo. And they made this very strong claim that according to their data, LDL and ApoB had no causal association or correlation with progression of plaques. Now, there was a lot of pushback and a lot of questions about the methodology and the limits of that methodology. And I'm not expert enough to be able to comment on it. But just this week, Dave came out and did a video with Dr. Barry and Nick Norwitz, and they talked about new information that they were able to now disclose that's actually been pretty interesting, which is leading to them to request a retraction of that paper, which apparently is going to happen.
Which I think one of the things people said was, if we go back a year, it was released April 7th, the study. And then everyone was coming out and doing their interviews. And then shortly after that, things got weird.
Yes.
And what it seems like is that Dave Feldman, would you call him the author? One of the authors?
He's sort of like the head honcho of the fundraising and the whole idea.
Yeah. So he was not able to see all the results until after they were published. That's part of the process.
Because it has to be blinded to him.
Yes. So it seems like once he got the data and was able to see it, and this was like a couple weeks after the paper was released, he went, whoa, this is weird.
And it wasn't that it was calling their conclusions into question.
No.
There was methodological problems.
Yeah.
And one of those was this idea was with Clearly, which is an AI process that takes the CT data and analyzes it and does the calculation for plaque.
Okay, so you go
Numbers.
have this imaging done. You've
Yes,
done this,
I've
correct?
had Clearly analysis
Okay,
too.
so you go get the imaging done, and then there is an AI process that reads those images. Is that?
I don't know how it works,
Oh, okay.
but presumably it takes the data, it does calculations,
Okay.
and it tells you whether you've got plaques in your coronary arteries, and it can distinguish between calcified and soft plaques, and it can measure the amount of shrinkage or constriction in the arteries.
Okay.
So you could be told you have a 50% stenosis in the LAD, for instance, that it would say that. And it's very exciting because you get this detailed imaging data as well with the scans. So the idea was they would get these scans and then they would look at the difference with 1 year follow-up. But they took the data. Once you get the CT scan data, you don't have to only use Clearly. You can give it to this, what is it called? Q-angio. And HeartFlow is another one. And they use, I guess, different proprietary systems. And one of the things they detected was that the HeartFlow, which they did later, and the Q-angio, those numbers sort of were alike, but clearly seemed discordant with those results. And the Clearly analysis had almost all of the subjects having progression in plaques, which was very confusing because it's understood that if you have a zero CAC score in the past, you wouldn't necessarily expect to see every single one of those people have a progression.
Not only that, but one of the things Dave Feldman said when he saw the data right away and saw one of the graphs is that just statistical error should have caused some of those data points to fall below zero, which would show a regression, but it's statistical error. So
Okay.
he wouldn't exactly call it a regression, but statistically, some of the things should have fallen below zero. And on the Clearly data, nothing fell below zero. So it seemed a little, that was his first thing that he's like, wait, this data is weird. We need to get some other analysis done.
And then he became aware of the fact that apparently within Clearly, the data was not blinded.
Yes.
And this is a big no-no.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure of what was unblinded. One thing was the fact it was the Keto CTA study subjects were known. They knew they were processing those subjects. Was that how it was unblinded? Or did they know per subject which was the baseline and which was the year follow-up? In either case, you're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to have that information. Dave didn't have the information. So he went back to Clearly and says, oh, this was actually unblinded. We need to do it blinded. We will pay you to do it. And they were hemming and hawing, and there was apparently some pushback. I don't know the whole story, but the punchline is that the subjects in the study were given their data. They carried their DVD or CD of data to their cardiologist, who then resubmitted their data to Clearly
A few anyway, yeah.
8 of them.
8, yes.
for reanalysis. And the results were
Blindly.
Yeah,
Those were blind.
because Clearly didn't know they were doing it.
Yeah.
And those results were wildly different.
Yeah.
And so that was like, okay, this is no good. We got a big problem. So Dave and company said to the journal, like, we got to retract this and we got to redo some of this data. And I guess they've got a new paper already written and pending. I don't know what the conclusions of that are, but based upon Nick's body language, it's probably supportive of their suspicions. I guess that's all I can say.
Well, yeah.
Now there was intimations by others in the periphery who are not part of the research team of some hijinks, but we don't have proof of that, and we are not saying that there was hijinks.
Hijinks on part of
Clearly,
Clearly?
yeah.
Yeah. I did read something that mentioned and this made some sense to me too. You know, you want everyone to be really full of integrity and moving forward in a very honest way. Yet it might not even be trying to bias the study, but trying not to put chinks in the armor of their proprietary analysis.
Well,
So it might be it could be a bias, or it could be I'm trying to protect my business bias.
well, one of the issues is that all the subjects actually started with pretty small amounts of plaque, if they had any.
Yeah.
And so the question is, does this technology actually detect with accuracy
Yeah. When you have that low.
the burden, the plaque burden?
Yeah.
So that's one question. But I think Nick and Dave and Nick are leaning on this idea that heart flow and Q angio were very similar results. Clearly was very discordant, and so maybe it's not the technology's not capable of it. Maybe Clearly's analysis has some noise in it that they haven't figured out. Having had Clearly analysis,
Well,
it makes me go, well, I don't know if that number means anything now.
that's one of the things I believe Nick wrote in his Substack was, I mean, this is a study and all that, but you're talking about real humans who are looking at their data and making decisions based on that data and, trying to do the best things for their health. So it's not even about the study at that level. These are real people whose data are being used.
So this just shows that the original Clearly showed a 20.9, I think this is cubic millimeters increase in plaque burden at the mean of all of the subjects. And then of the 8 that independently retested it, there was a mean regression. So some had some progression, some had some regression. And so when they saw this, they're like, well, is 8 enough? Well, there was a whole TV show.
8 is
And it definitively
enough.
said it is enough. And so if you get that reference, welcome to 2026.
Did you watch 8 is Enough?
I saw a few episodes.
We watched it. Yeah, we watched it.
It was kind of a dramedy, maybe. I don't really remember liking it. I was more of a Brady Bunch kind of kid. So that's that study. Big fiasco. But there's another side to the story, which is, of course, when Dave and company come out and announce this information, Dave is very deliberate, calm, careful about what he says. And then Nick's just like, he's like frothing at the mouth. He's just outraged. He can barely contain himself. And then, of course, all of the usual suspects come out on the other side, who are very invested in the lipid hypothesis.
Yeah.
And they misrepresent what Dave says, and they attack him and Nick. Now, Nick opens himself up to it because he's a very contentious kind of contrarian, and he wants the combative thing to happen, whereas Dave is very just calm and not really that interested in fighting. It doesn't seem. I don't know how he contains himself. He must have a really well-regulated nervous system, because I could not do that. We'll talk about that in a bit. So should we say hello to our viewers?
Let's say hello.
Melanie is here.
Hey, Melanie.
It's good to see you.
It is good to see you. Missed you last week. We understand people have
Yeah.
lives, but
Annette wants to know, she has to take notes.
our daughter, whenever he starts talking about something in depth that she's very
Yep.
uninterested in, she takes out her fake notebook
Yep.
and her fake pencil.
Yeah. It's funny, but it can be irritating when I'm trying to really tell her something that's important. Oh, let's see. Bonnie is here.
Hey, Bonnie.
I always catch the replays, but I have a couple of minutes to jump into the live. Well,
So good to see you.
thank you so much for watching the
Yeah.
replays. Thank you for joining us. Primal Gawa is here.
Hello. Hello. I don't feel like we've seen you for a little bit either. It's good to see you back.
Natalie Rice is here.
Hey, Natalie.
In general, it comes down to bias in these companies that skew data. Well, I'm not going to say that, but it's understandable how that could be the perception.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
again-
I do want to note that on Twitter, Dr. Chafee came out with, you'd say both guns blazing, but he had like a bandolier, a machine gun, a mortar, some missiles, and a battleship, and some space lasers. And he went full out on this one against those who are advocates of the lipid hypothesis. Yeah, it does sound like a faulty study. And I think that's why they had to retract that particular version, is because the data integrity issue was there. But that doesn't mean they can't retrieve something that's useful from it.
Yeah.
Annette says, the only time I watched 8 is Enough was because I was too lazy to get up and change the channel. Yes, I don't remember any of the... Was Christy McNichol in that?
I don't think she was. No,
What show was
I
that?
don't think she was in that.
What show was she in? Because I remember...
Family.
I remember
Was
her.
that it? Family? Which I didn't watch, but I think that's what she was in. But yeah, I can't remember any of their names. I remember Susan. I can remember her hair. She had very heavy bangs. And Nicholas, maybe? Was he the youngest? And Tommy.
Well, you remember way more than I do.
And that's what but the stepmom was Betty Buckley.
Also doesn't mean anything to me.
And she's very big on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
And as a matter of fact, she was the one who I think originated that role in Cats, Memory,
Oh, okay.
All Alone in the Moonlight.
I think we should just
Blah,
end
blah,
it there. We lost 5 viewers.
Just on that.
5 millennials just were like, I don't know what these olds are talking about, but this is so boring. I came here for the keto study fiasco because I thought they were going to lambaste Nick and Dave, and they ended up kind of defending them. This is not what I signed up for.
Well, I have to reveal our biases in that we were at COSI last year. I think it was in February that we went to that meeting.
Yes, and I've actually contributed financially to the Citizens Science Foundation that funded this. So I do have a little bit of a bias, although,
Well,
like Dave, I just want to get to the truth.
yeah, exactly.
I want to know
mean,
whether I should worry about my LDL or not.
we were all going, oh no,
Yeah.
last year. Yeah.
So this gets back to, we've been talking about nutrition on this channel since we started because it was a carnivore channel at the start. And one of the common things that we encounter is physicians who have no nutritional education whatsoever. And then it's almost like a cliche now to say that there was a half-hour class that they had to take twice or something about nutrition, and that's all they know about it. And then, they'll speak with great authority about what you should eat.
Now, I love my integrative doctor.
Yes.
I've been going to him for many years. I think he's great. He never tells me what to do. But we were discussing certain things this week, and a lot of his advice was, have more fiber. You might want more fiber because fiber is never a bad thing. Right? It was sort of, again, he's not real traditional, but yet he's still in that realm of that type of thing. Now, he does feel like he's between different paradigms on cholesterol. So like I said, I really do like him, but yeah, some of the dietary stuff was very much the things you'd expect.
So we want our doctors in training to get nutritional education, and apparently it's going to happen. The news came out, I think today or yesterday. Medical schools pledge changes as RFK urges training in nutrition. 31 states joined the pledge, 50 plus schools signed on, committing to roughly 40 hours of nutritional training starting this fall. And something somewhere was going to contribute some $5 million to building the curriculum.
Oh, great.
And that's what I said. And that's where this whole thing hits a disaster, because it's like, if they're getting taught the old conventional wisdom, well, then that's just making it worse. Maybe. So I don't think that doctors need to be taught that low carb is the only way, but it would be good if they were taught that, hey, if you see type 2 diabetes or someone approaching it, keto is a good intervention for them and that you could recommend in good conscience.
Yeah.
And here's studies that support that, so you can feel like it's well-grounded. if you have someone who's an ethical vegetarian, you don't have to browbeat them into eating meat, but you can start pointing them to how they can fill out the macronutrients that they need, especially probably in protein, but also the micronutrients like B vitamins and stuff that they may not be getting, so that you have an actual education that you can support that stuff. And you're not just pointing to the dietitian who's part of the system.
Yeah.
Who's completely trained probably in the wrong path. So I don't know what to make of this. I think it's a good idea, but it's always
theory.
It's always the execution that's the problem, right?
Yeah. And I mean, we've talked in the past on this show about the whole realignment that just happened is part of a certain program. And based on that realignment, the new pyramid we have, or whatever it's called, that filters down through everything. It creates policies in schools, in nursing homes, in the military, what they eat. So while many of us are saying, wow, this is a step forward, this current recommendation is a huge step forward. 5 years from now, it could be a huge step backward, and that's filtering all down and into the med schools and stuff. It's tough.
Yeah, it does feel like there's a lot of work around the periphery. I mean, obviously getting the highly processed foods and dyes out of children's food and stuff, that all seems reasonable, but it's like there's some more basic things that are pretty obvious that need to happen, and it's harder to just push those policies because there's so many opposing forces.
Yes. Yes.
I am going to be optimistic, and I'm going to say it's going to have a positive impact.
I like it.
So it got me thinking.
Oh.
Because, we're big on not eating highly processed foods. Mm-hmm. And it's strange. Even when I went very high carb, I was eating whole foods. I was eating whole bananas, whole oranges, whole lot of potatoes, and some orange juice, which is processed, I guess, because it's squeezed. Now I've backed off a lot of that. I had an orange today and a little bit of potato, but there's nothing just magical for me about it because I was already off the processed food for 3 years on carnivore.
Yeah.
So I think I'd gotten all the benefits of not eating all the seed oils and whatever else was in those things had already accrued. So it wasn't like I had suddenly had this transformational thing that many people would get if they just stopped eating that stuff. Mm-hmm. But it came up that I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the CEO of McDonald's announced their new sandwich, the Big Arch.
Yes.
And this has been a bit of a sensation because of how he delivered this message. Now, we're not advocating you eat the Big Arch, but I thought it would be important if you're not aware of what's happening. I saw this a lot on X recently. Let's just take a look at his announcement because it's amusing.
My lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing. I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth.
Here it goes.
That is so good. That's a big bite for a Big Arch. It's distinctively
It's like 2
McDonald's.
molecules.
Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's
We're not
a delicious
supported by
product.
McDonald's.
You've got sort of the cheeses and
No
the
deal.
gooiness, but those crispy onions as
All
well.
right, so I think we can stop there. He calls it a product at the end.
Yes.
And so people were like, don't call your hamburger, your food a product. But they leaned into it.
Yes.
And they even had a post, try our product with a picture of this thing. And then if you've ever seen Review Bra, who does fast food reviews on YouTube with millions of views, he reviewed the Big Arch and he made fun of that guy's tiny little burger bite. And then all of the other fast food chain CEOs have now been doing a version of this video where they take a bite of their signature burger. And it's been quite interesting. And I will say that seeing it over and over again, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of would like a Big Mac because that's a particular flavor.
Yes, it is.
I have not had one.
No.
But I was curious, JJ.
Yeah.
What is the story with the Big Arch? Here's the story. There's 1,000 calories in it.
It is a big burger. He says.
53 grams of protein. So that's good because there's 2 quarter pounders and that adds up to 1/2 pound. 65 grams of fat.
Okay.
59 grams of carbs. 15 grams of those are sugar. And I'm like, how much ketchup is in that thing? But there's some sort of Big Arch sauce or something.
Sauce, yeah.
So they must have a lot of sugar in that. And 1,700 milligrams of sodium, which I'm all in favor of eating all the salt that you can sustain, but that's a lot in one dose.
Well, and this just makes me think of the, we've heard about epidemiological studies, and when people say, oh, if you eat more red meat, you get health issues. And a lot of the red meat is being counted as things like the Big Arch, which 59 grams of carbs are in that Big Arch. So it's not about the 53 grams of protein or maybe even the 65 grams of fat. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
if you have both of these together,
Yeah.
it's not ideal.
No, that's true.
65 grams of fat with
Plus.
60 grams of carbs at the same time. Not great. It might actually keep your blood sugar from spiking. But those carbs are going to raise insulin and that fat's going to go right into adipose tissue. And if you eat fries with this, it's going to be more of that. And it'd be hard to lose weight on a diet that featured the Big Arch.
Yes.
I did not put it in this slide, but there's almost a gram of potassium in this, I want to say. A lot of potassium. So if you're potassium deficient, the Big Arch is your friend.
Well, what's funny to me is, this man looks thin. We don't know what his health actually is. So him taking that minuscule little bite, does he even eat meat? I don't even think he got to the meat.
That was the thing, is that there's been a lot of criticism of he doesn't even eat their own product because he's too healthy.
Now, on the flip side, I have to say, whenever you're doing, when you see TV shows where they're eating, they take minuscule bites so that they can talk right away afterwards. So, maybe, but I don't know.
It was a small bite from a guy who's who's very health conscious, probably only eats fish and salad or something. So let's see here. Annetta's going, yeah, what kind of nutritional training? Who controls the curriculum for the
Yeah.
doctors?
Yeah.
That is the question, and that's what Primal Gawa is asking. And Melanie says, yep, good point about medical school education.
Yeah, but hopeful.
Let's hope that General Mills and Kellogg aren't funding the nutrition classes.
Right.
Well, this is raising a good point, because if there's fundraising to create the curriculum, they're going to be showing up with their little checkbook, and Mr. Burns is going to be going, Smithers, write them a $100,000 million check as long as they make everyone eat crickets.
That was pretty good.
I'm not opposed to eating McDonald's burger patties plain in a pinch when I'm traveling.
Agreed. I do like a burger patty from McDonald's, and it's pretty cheap.
My understanding is the Big Arch is a pretty expensive sandwich, so you wouldn't want to buy it and take the patties out.
No.
It wouldn't make any sense.
No, I looked, and in our market here in the Midwest, which is not the highest market, it was over 18, not 18, over $8.
$8.
Yes. Which again, if you're throwing away a big chunk of the food.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But maybe if you get it in one of their meals with a drink and fries, maybe you get a better bundle price.
Maybe.
And then you also get 1,500 calories and a whole lot. Are they frying them in tallow yet? I can't remember if McDonald's is frying their fries in tallow or not.
I haven't heard that, but I do remember when they stopped frying them in tallow. That was a big deal.
If you know, let us know, because I
Yeah.
can't remember. I know some companies decided to get back into the tallow game as if that was going to make their French fries healthy.
Well,
It would make them less bad.
it makes them less bad. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I certainly,
They should be air frying their potatoes.
we definitely consider the seed oil side of things now when we go out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So imagine, dig if you will, you're eating low carb. You think that you're doing something that's good for your health. Maybe your LDL is going up, but you're not concerned. You've read Dave's study, no correlation. You're fine. You're like, okay, that's good. And you go see your doctor, and he's like, well, your LDL is a little bit high, but you've dropped weight and your A1C is down, so you're doing some things right. Just take 5 statins every day. And you're like, okay, thanks a lot. I'll fill the RX, and then I just won't take them. You might do something like that, or you might say, thanks, doc, but I'm good. Mm-hmm. And then, and you leaving going, well, we know he didn't have any nutrition education, because we know that because he's not in the cohort that's going to get 40 hours of nutrition education going forward. So I don't really even go to him for that kind of a thing. He's not really the metabolism doctor for me. And then you go to McDonald's and get just your burger patties and eat them, and you're feeling good, but you wake up and you're like, I got a little twinge. I got a little thing. You know what? I don't want to go back to my doctor who's going to try to push statins on me and give me 5 more vaccinations. I just want to go to ChatGPT and just see, is this anything? Is it something, maybe it's something little and there's something I can do about it. I can just save a trip.
You mean people do that? People will go to one of the AIs and put in information like that?
I've heard tell. But if the state of New York gets its way, they won't be for long. There is a bill under consideration. The sponsor memo says that the bill would prohibit a chatbot from giving, quote, substantive responses, information, or advice if a human doing the same would engage in an unauthorized professional practice under New York law. And this is going to apply to things like legal advice, health advice, mental health advice, blah, blah, blah. And so the idea is if the AI is impersonating a doctor or a lawyer, then that would be illegal. But it comes down to, well, ChatGPT doesn't impersonate them. Well, have you met a lawyer? Do you think that the fact that ChatGPT isn't saying, I'm a lawyer and here's what you should do. I am a doctor. Here's what you should do about that rash. No, they're going to say if it offers any information that's even close to advice or a diagnosis or even hints at possibilities, it's impersonating a healthcare professional that requires a license under New York law. So this would be to hamstring a tool that people are using to their benefit, and probably many are getting terrible advice and doing things that are harming their health. I'm of the view that if you're so thick-headed that you just believe whatever the AI says, that that's kind of your own problem. But that you should be able to inquire and even upload your labs and let it offer you some insights.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, this is what your doctor is going to be doing. Your doctor, don't tell anybody. Your doctor is going to be going to an AI and going, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. Let me put this in. I guess that looks right. And then because he's licensed, he's going to say, well, my studied opinion. I don't know why he suddenly had that accent, but all doctors do that. In my studied opinion, your rash is caused by a statin deficiency.
There you have
I
it.
cracked myself. So I think this is a terrible move, but I expect that we will be seeing this across all kinds of domains where people are going to try to protect certain domains from people going direct for information. Yes, you need to have it be correct, but people need to be able to distinguish between an AI that is trying to please them with what they want to hear and creating evidence that fills their pet theory. I've done this.
Oh, yeah.
I've gone to AI like, here's my pet theory. And it's like, oh, that's a very clever take.
Ooh,
and here's
brilliant.
all the reasons why that connects. And of course it could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
But because I am smart, I don't just believe that. I just go, okay, my pet theory has some rationale.
But these different AIs also give the disclaimer. This is not medical advice. And when you talk about a disclaimer, it makes me think about all the commercials we're inundated with. Now, we don't watch commercial TV normally, but we just got done watching the Olympics. And there were a lot of commercials on in there that had the disclaimers and were recommending that if I have these symptoms, I should ask my doctor about this.
Exactly.
And isn't that similar to
I think it's similar.
I mean,
and obviously, the very fast talk side effects thing that they're obligated to say in the pharmaceutical commercials, very off-putting. And you'd think, well, after you heard that, you'd be like, well, I'm not going to take that. But I don't know.
yeah, I just think that if I can't have some sort of analysis with the technology that we have, that I should not have unsolicited advice from my television and my podcasts.
So do you consult with the AIs on your health, or do you upload your labs and let them look at them and say, oh yeah, here's how these things possibly connect? I think it's been very valuable because it gives me a framework, and then I have questions I can go to the doctor with.
Yeah.
And I don't say, I talk to AI and it thinks. No, I don't do that. Because I have to put myself in the position of the doctor going, I don't need this. Because it used to be, I talk to Dr. Google. I don't know why the patient talks like that. I think what I'm doing is that I'm impersonating how it sounds to the doctor.
Okay.
Right? I talk to Dr. Google and he says, and I think that, being inundated that from patient after patient
Yeah.
after patient would be really exhausting. So yeah, I wouldn't do that, but going in with some frame of reference and some questions to kind of poke is beneficial.
Yeah.
But I have spent entirely too much time talking to AIs about
Well, that is,
these things.
yes, that is true for you. And it's probably true for me as well.
It can be addicting. So I have to back off and go, you know what? It doesn't know. And the doctor who's going to look at this is also going to not know. And that's going to make three of us. Melanie's saying that the AI tends to spit out the party line on these things. I have found that to be true, but I've also found ways to prompt it to make it do the opposite. So, I don't know, it kind of amuses me, but
No, I've definitely had to
yeah.
debate with it a little bit and say, no.
I research a lot of my work as an editor, and it's alarming what AI spits out. Yeah, well, it is a developing technology, and what it will be 6 months from now will be very different than what it is today. And in 6 years, it will be telling me what to do instead of me telling it. I'll get a phone call, and I'll be like, "What's going on? This thing hasn't rung in ages," and I'll be like,
Hello?
"My AI overlord." You need me to do what? And then I'll be like, I have to. And I can't tell you why.
Oh.
It's important. The world depends on it. Have you
my
heard
goodness.
that you can clone your voice with AI? And people can clone our voices because we've got hours and hours and hours on YouTube. It'd be very easy for someone to clone our voice and then call us up with one of us in distress,
Yeah.
or call your mom
Oh, good.
in
grief.
distress and try to pry some information or money out of her.
That reminds me, I had a very smart cat. This is totally off topic, but it has to do with the phone. I had a very smart cat. He did not get along with you. You guys were enemies. His name was Puck. And I lived, when I moved out of my house, I got the cat, and he knew that if the phone rang, I would grab it. Like there was some correlation he'd made with the phone ringing and knocking it off the hook. So the phone rang, he knocked it off the hook, and my mom was on the other side going, hello, hello. Now this is back in like 1994 or something. And she's going, hello, and there's no response, but she hears rustling in the background, and she gets worried that something horrible has happened to me. And that I've not, I'm trying to get help by not grabbing the phone, but I'm being prevented. And she actually called the cops, who fortunately, I lived right at the end of the town, the city. I swallowed wrong. And so they didn't know the name of the road. The road changed names right before. And so they didn't know even where to look for me. So that's kind of disconcerting. But anyway, I was fine. I wasn't even home. And it was the cat that answered the phone. So, yeah. But he did not try to extort money from my mother.
If he could have talked, he would have.
Yes.
So that is the nutrition and health topics of the day. Which brings us to the other part of the show
Oh.
that we do, where our viewership drops precipitously. So just warning you, if you want to hear about the keto study fiasco, that was at the very beginning. And we're past it.
Well, I have one quick fiasco before we go on.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Before we go on, I did go to the doctor this week, as I mentioned, and I have gained 15 pounds in this carb experiment.
Is that good or bad?
That is bad.
Are you content with that? Or
I
are
am
you gonna...
not content. I thought maybe 10.
So what are you going to do?
15, I am not thrilled about. And I mean, that's in a couple months. So that's a pretty big shift. Now, I want to mention, we've said this all along. I was not just sitting there eating bonbons, unlimited, even unlimited fruit. I've measured things. Like everything has been very measured to not be too much. And I've monitored my blood sugar most of the time. And so I am appalled by that. 3 pounds was muscle. 2 pounds was considered lean mass. And the rest?
Water and adipose tissue.
Yeah. We know some of it's water, but yeah, that's not a great thing at all. So
So what's your plan?
I'm still a little stuck. Yeah, I'm a
Can you
little-
explain your conundrum?
my conundrum, I've mentioned it before. Melanie, I have you on my shoulder going, just don't worry about it. So you don't need to put it in the comments. You're there already. And I'm hearing you. So my conundrum is that my lipids went way bad last year. Actually, I looked at my data and I saw that in 2024, I categorized as a lean mass hyperresponder, actually. But in 2025, my numbers got worse in general. So it wasn't just LDL, HDL went worse, my particle size went worse, like everything got worse. And my glucose got worse. We were working on it at the end of the year. We were eating that really high fat end of the day meal to try to boost that and lower blood glucose. That glucose that worked to a certain extent. But so I saw my lipids going weird and my reverse T3. So when I started doing more Dr. Boz sort of fasting and following deeper ketosis, things were getting worse.
How did you feel?
I felt great. Mood and energy, great. Some of my blood markers trending in the wrong direction. So when you, who did not feel good
Terrible.
on carnivore and keto, you did not feel good. So you're like, oh, I'll try to introduce some carbs. And so I did that thing too. I'm like, okay, I'll try to introduce some carbs too and see if I can make those markers move. Well, they are trending a little better, but I felt so much worse. And I've gained 15 pounds in a couple months. So I'd already reduced carbs since I took the blood test mid-February. I already had reduced carbs to 50 grams of carbs done at my breakfast. I would only eat carbs at breakfast. The rest of the day was meat and egg, animal products. And I was feeling better. I am feeling better. I'm doing better. But I don't know. I'm feeling like maybe I need to move back into, I don't know. I was working with AI yesterday and it suggested maybe I lower the carbs even more, but still give it that resistant starch in the morning. A little bit of resistant starch to make the thyroid happy, especially.
It's a theory.
It's a theory. It's a theory. And again, that's based on conventional wisdom, right? So I don't know. But now that I know how much I weigh, I think I've got to start stepping on the scale at home. I was kind of going, well, I knew I'd gained weight. I had to buy new pants and everything. So it was no shock as far as there was weight gain. The amount was a shock. And I purposely wasn't weighing myself because then I would have jumped out of the experiment before getting the data. So I've got the data. I'm doing better. I've lowered carbs and I might go lower. One thing I did do this week too was I was having satiety issues where I was hungry and snacky feeling. So I made myself eat sardines when, like, if I'm hungry, eat the sardines.
Melanie says, resistant starch, please talk about that.
So you know a little more about this than I do, but don't you?
I don't know what you know.
Oh, that's
so
true.
I got to be careful.
But apparently when you put, like, say, potatoes or rice, when you cook them ahead of time and put them in the fridge and let them sit, something magical happens. That's the part I don't know. But the carb load goes down. The glycemic.
Yeah, they're just
index.
harder to absorb.
They're
That's
harder
why
to
they're
absorb?
resistant.
Okay. Yeah. So apparently, then if you have them, you have less of a blood sugar impact.
It's a slower, rise.
Yeah. And the reason, and my doctor was talking about this as well. Now, I was going strictly fruit in the morning. And part of that was to not have the blood glucose rise. And there was something else about it too that I honestly don't remember. But maybe it kind of because it bypasses the blood, because fructose gets directly absorbed by the liver rather than going through the bloodstream. Maybe I'm actually causing the fructose to be stored more directly. So there was a switch of move into more glucose land and make it resistant starch so that it's tempered and the curve is.
So the idea is you want to be in
Please.
ketosis, some.
Yes.
And you want to have a little bit of carbs going in because that may basically get your glucagon down throughout at one point in the day and insulin up.
Yes.
And that gives a little bit of a stress relief.
Yes. It signals to my thyroid that
And
it's
you get
not in danger. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a theory and you should test it and see if it works.
Yeah. So I think I might be on a CGM again pretty soon. Although I've been tracking most of the time with a CGM, so I don't know. But
Yeah, I'm probably going to do that as well. I was up to 250 grams of carbs a day, and I've dropped that to 150. And actually, it's hard to hit 150 for some reason, the way that I'm doing it. It's too soon to say. I mean, it's been a week.
Yeah.
But I may actually reduce it by another 50 just to see, because I'm not content with where I'm at either. I added carbs way too hard, way too fast when I came out of carnivore. It was a terrible mistake.
I did not.
And for someone who thinks of themselves as reasonably intelligent, I just do really stupid things when it comes to diet. So I have no explanation.
I didn't go as high as you or anything like that. Obviously, we're two different people, so we have two different systems, but my body's not liking this. No.
Janine says, Canada does not fry in tallow.
For McDonald's.
Must be at McDonald's, yeah. I don't eat at that restaurant.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's the end of the. That is the end. Stay tuned. I might try the resistant starch pulse in the morning, and it's talking like 50 grams of white potato. Like that's a very small amount. So
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Because 50 grams of potato is going to be like 15 or 20 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. So, JJ,
Yes.
you and I have very different tastes in entertainment, and yet we find things that overlap.
Yes, we do.
For instance, for some reason, you really, really enjoy the Great Baking. What is it called?
The Great British Bake Off.
Even as a carnivore, you'd be watching the Great British Bake Off.
Yes. Yeah.
And it would be on, and I'd be like, this is going to kill me with how boring it is.
Which I was surprised because you've watched some cooking shows with me in the past.
Yes, yeah. I've gone through phases with cooking shows.
Yeah. But that one, no.
But there was a judge on it, Mary Berry.
Yes.
I don't know if she still does it.
Oh,
or not.
no. She's been off quite a while.
Well, we stumbled on YouTube on a short series where she went to some of the grand British estate houses or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. The great houses.
Yes.
And you would learn a little bit of history of that house, get to see the interior, and then she would, of course, make some food for some event in it.
Yeah.
And it was great.
It was really good.
And what is it called? Mary Berry in the Great Houses or something. If you like that kind of thing,
Yeah.
find it on YouTube and watch all 4 or 5 episodes.
But it even had the Downton Abbey. That's the
Yeah,
first
that's right.
one
That's
is the
the
Downton Abbey one. But there was like 5 or 6 of those, and they're about an hour long.
Yeah,
they
they
were
were good.
really good. Yeah.
And then she has several that
And-
are Christmas themed, which it's not the right time of the year for Christmas
No.
theme.
And I found out, number 1, she's been made a dame. That was a while ago. But number 2, she's 90 years old. So maybe she was filming those when she was 89. She might have been still in her 80s at that time.
But it makes me think of because everything she makes, it's always add a cup of flour.
Yep.
And I'm like, how can she live to be so old eating all of these baked goods? So, I don't know. Maybe there wasn't enough glyphosate on those
Maybe not.
wheat fields. Or maybe there wasn't glyphosate, not enough. I don't want anything to happen to poor Mary. But I was thinking Mary Berry, and then I was thinking Dr. Berry. I'm like, I wonder if they're distant relatives. That'd be kind of funny.
That would be.
It has the same vibe to me as that Chateau show.
Oh.
What was that one called? Where
The chateau or something.
they were Brits that renovated a chateau in France, and then there was some blow up with the network, and they lost that show. But
So bummed.
very low conflict. So I like those. Because they help me regulate my nervous system, which is a topic that I've been doing a lot of deep dive on, as I've talked about recent panic attacks and anxiety recently. Hopefully more to talk about on that in future weeks.
Yeah.
Because I have some things I'm doing. An instance where we are not aligned is the Little House on the Prairie, which is the most tortuously boring television show ever made and was considered by me punishment to have it on in the same house that I was in. And now Netflix is rebooting it. And apparently it's coming out a reboot of Little House on the Prairie, the worst TV show ever.
Okay. Well, it is not the worst TV show ever. Did you ever read the books? I mean, I know they weren't aimed at you, but since you are
That's the Laura
like an
Ingalls
English
Wilder.
You know, you were English.
When I was a kid, I had a friend who came over for a birthday party, and his mom obviously chose the birthday present.
Oh, no.
It was the Farmer Boy.
Farmer Boy. Yep.
And I remember getting this book, and I nearly died just looking at the boring cover. I had never seen anything so intensely hateful. And I did try to read it, and there was something about a sled, and I was out. And I was like, there's no chance I'm reading this. I'd rather just stare into space than have this go into my brain.
Well, I read the books, and of course I watched the series. Oh my gosh, it was awesome. Like, we loved it, and we being girls my age, and we would play it on the playground. We would play Little House on the Prairie on the playground. Yeah.
And played Battlestar Galactica.
Well, we played that too.
Oh, really?
We did, yeah, on the monkey bars. That
okay.
was one of the spaceships. And they were the dangerous monkey bars back then, right? And you'd shoot off the metal slide.
Is that how
would
you did it?
Oh, yeah. So we
'Cause-
played that too.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But, and the boys would play that. I don't think the boys played Little House on the Prairie
No,
with
we
us.
did not.
But yeah, and then when Mary went blind, everyone wanted to be Mary.
Spoiler alert.
But it was also kind of interesting because it took place, the series took place in this sort of general region that we live in. So that was an extra bonus. Yeah, totally liked that show. But I am concerned. I was also a big fan of Anne of Green Gables, which a previous boyfriend of mine used to call Anne of Green Gaggles. And big Anne of Green Gables fan, and loved the Megan Follows. That one, that adaptation, love it. You watched that with me.
That was great. I didn't read the books.
No, but
that little series was good.
yeah, you even bought me the hardcovers.
Yeah.
Yes, which are going up in our guest room, by the way.
Annette says, I prefer Anne of Green Gables versus Little House.
Well, I do prefer, yes, I would have to agree with that. But there was a remake some years back of that I could not stand. I don't even remember what it was, of Anne of Green Gables. And was it Netflix?
Yeah, it was Anne with an E.
Yeah, yes.
And
that
they
was what
changed
it's
things
called.
that had no business being changed.
Don't mess with the things that, don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. I actually watched a recent reboot too that was done, I think in 2019. I think Martin Sheen was Matthew Cuthbert, which I get why they brought in a name like him, but he doesn't quite have the energy of Matthew Cuthbert. But and it was a good rendition. It was good, but they softened a lot of it. Like, Marilla was not as harsh as she really should be. Yeah. Because you've got to have that arc.
Suggesting we watch Escape to the Country, a British show that helps people find their new home in the country
Ooh.
around the UK.
I like that.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one to watch.
Yeah.
Another one that I've liked is The Repair Shop, if you haven't watched that one, where people bring in items to be repaired and they repair them. And you learn the stories about them.
Called The Repair Shop.
And then you see them repair them, and it's extremely calming.
I do like that show. I think you like that one more than I do, but I do like it.
I love that show.
Yeah.
But there are many seasons we haven't seen.
Really?
Yeah, many.
Oh.
The reboot of Battlestar Galactica was sensational, by the way. I haven't seen it. Yep, with you on 8 is enough. This is Anne Gables. What are the chances?
All right, so I have to say, we have a guest room And you actually found an inspo picture for it a few years back. And we're finally getting it decorated. We don't have anyone to stay there, but got to decorate it. And I bought today, we went to a greenhouse and I'm like, I was looking for a hat like this all over the place online. It's a very flat straw hat because it's like the hat that Anne had. Because I'm going to hang that in there. And then I made a little Canva image of our house that I sort of aged, and it's got an Anne of Green Gables quote that's going to go on the wall in there. So, yeah.
I read an article in the New Yorker, of all places, years ago that there's like a whole subculture in Japan, of course, which is a country of subcultures, loved Anne of Green Gables, completely devoted to Anne of Green Gables. Melanie says, loved Escape to the Country.
Okay.
So that's another vote for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we just finished Mary Berry, so
yeah,
that could be on deck
I
next.
thought that show was going to go for multiple seasons, and it was going to be this thing that I could watch and also then go to sleep during, but that's not what happened. Another thing that, because YouTube being what it is, occasionally it'll just throw something into the feed, and apparently it knows that I like cute dogs. Because this video, I'm not going to play the video. This is just the thumbnail. It says crazy sheepdog puppy. It gets loose among the sheep. So this sheepdog is from Shaun the Sheepman, and it's basically he releases this puppy in there and just watches what it does with its instinct alone to herd these sheep around. And the puppy is adorable, and it just herds these sheep all over the place. And then he explains what he's looking for now that he's going to get ready to train this dog on how to become an actual sheepdog. And he's got other ones, border collies, that we've seen as well, that they're just funny, crazy, cute dogs that love to do their job. So if you like the looks of Copper, I highly recommend you find Shaun the Sheepman. There's a playlist that you can watch Copper grow up and become a sheepdog.
It's especially important right now because I'm about caught up on my Chili the cow.
Okay.
Bottle-fed calf. I'm about caught up on. I've been trying to just really drip them out slowly at this point, but yeah.
Well, we watched this on Apple TV, and then I'm scrolling this morning on X, and what pops up for no reason but this guy with a border collie puppy, he's getting ready to put in with sheep for the first time to see what its instincts do. Totally different guy, totally different dog, same exact thing. And it was really amazing because you think, well, how do they train those border collies to do that? Well, the answer is like 50% of it is just baked into the dog. It's really interesting.
It was very interesting. Yeah.
And fun to watch. If you like dogs. If you don't like dogs,
don't watch.
It's a terrible channel.
Don't watch. Although it might show up in your feed now that we've talked about it.
Now that we've talked about it. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Have you liked and subscribed to this channel? I mean, that's a serious problem that we have, is that since we were a carnivore channel and then we weren't carnivore, every time we open our mouths, people just hit the exit. So if you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more, a subscribe would be very appreciated, and a like would also be of some use. And that says, I saw that short on the border collie puppy. I had a border collie. He was brilliant. I so want one, but I also don't want another dog. And I don't want a dog with long fur, because we have these tiny little burrs and they're everywhere and they're really hard to get out of the dog.
Sticker burrs, whatever you call
and
them
we
in
don't
your
have
region.
sheep for the dog to work with. Border collies would need a lot of exercise.
Yes, our current dog already needs a lot of exercise.
He needs to run for miles every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which fortunately he gets to do.
Yeah, he's very fortunate.
So I think that's where we're going to leave you guys today. We'll be back next Friday, 5:30 Central Time, from the world headquarters of Not Quite Carnivore. Some of us not even low carb. And we will have a whole nother raft of information, stories we're reacting to related to our chosen diet, our progress on whatever we're doing with carbs. And we love sharing it with you. And to all of those of you who join us every week, thank you so much for your support.
Yes, we really do appreciate you and look forward to seeing those names. So, and if you're watching a replay and you're one of our friends, leave a comment there too. Again, it's kind of our big social activity of the week as a couple.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really appreciate it.
With that, every day stronger.
Every day more blessed.